OpenSea is the biggest whale living deep down in our cryptographic decentralized ocean, swarmed with digital asset enthusiasts. It emerged strongly in 2021, introducing a variety of different concepts to the wholly new NFT industry, and became the largest marketplace of unique on-chain art, music, documents, and more. However, we are all aware that being first does not guarantee generations or even decades worth of success. Let's take a look at some examples of nibbler, innovative newcomers disrupting the established giants in the technology space. Social media was one of the ideas that had quite a lot of trouble getting to the mainstream audiences, one of the best examples being MySpace. In the 90s and early 2000s, having and using the internet to browse and communicate on the web was like a new power, and only those skilled enough managed to indulge and enjoy the benefits it gave. MySpace was introduced at the time when this was still the case, the year 2003. The majority of people were unfamiliar with the new ideas that came and had only visited a website or two. Services like internet-based banking were not widely used. MySpace might have come too early, but that's not the main issue. The website was easily hackable, that was shown by Sammy Kompar, had terrible user experience compared to the more recent web ventures, and the network of people itself was relatively small. Now insert all this into the aftermath of the 2001 technology market bubble and you might just get a business disaster. Facebook was built several years later when the internet was already filled with users and took the cake as the fastest growing social media the world had ever seen. This marked the end for the pioneering MySpace and its smaller competitors. Another great example of platform and technology shifts is the story of the Nokia downfall. Nokia was the definition of a dominant technology company at the very beginning of this century. Even advanced, business-focused phone producers like BlackBerry couldn't come close. If you met a person with a phone in the early 2000s, they would likely have been using the Nokia brand. Apple, on the other hand, has been strategizing all the time to produce a revolution, a touchscreen revolution with the first iPhone. This introduction of the sci-fi-like technology conquered consumers' hearts immediately, leaving no space for the keyboard-pressed phones. The iPhone turned phones into futuristic computers and not just communication devices. All the CEO of Nokia had to say was, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow, we lost." Every other manufacturer was frozen and dropped into an inescapable dungeon of unsold phones, and has not managed to unfreeze since the word iPhone was first said by Steve Jobs. Apple did the same before, only with computer hardware, taking ideas of the first mouse from Xerox, implementing them, and changing the world. More recently, similar patterns have become visible in operating systems in the software war with Microsoft. The history lesson is done, let's move on to NFTs. If you wish to purchase some unique art or another object on the blockchain that is always verifiable on a public ledger, one option is that you will turn to OpenSea, the largest NFT marketplace in the world today. We have previously discussed how history shows that being the largest in the early beginnings of an idea does not mean quality or better proofs of concept. There is a saying, being too big to fail, that is ironic because numerous times it has been proven nonsensical and fundamentally wrong.